What do you study?
I am currently a Year 1 student majoring in English with a concentration in literature and language. I initially planned on taking a more practical course like business, but in the end, it was really just my passion for art and culture that helped me decide what I wanted to take.
Who is your favorite professor?
I don't necessarily have a favorite professor, but if I had to pick, I would say that my translation professor, Florin Morar, definitely made a huge impact on me. I really liked how his lessons were perplexing, but very appealing at the same time. I felt appreciated when he gave me a lot of positive feedback at the end of the year, too.
What do you enjoy most about your course?
I don't suppose English sounds like a fun course to take for most people, but what I enjoy the most about my course would most certainly be the relationships that I've built with my course mates. Originally, I was planning on being a lone wolf for the next 4 years of my life, but I didn't anticipate meeting genuinely nice people who helped me through thick and thin. I guess I enjoy the friendships I make.
What do you find most challenging in your course?
That's a very good question. Burnout is a challenge for sure. It's just something that happens to everyone, really, and I believe it's something that's unavoidable. The workload can be difficult to handle, especially when every single professor decides to pack all of the deadlines for assignments and tests in the same week, and sometimes even on the same day.
What else do you want to learn in the near future?
Apart from literature, I really want to take on a bit of philosophy and ethics. I think it's a pretty interesting subject to learn, and I'm actually planning on taking a minor in philosophy in the near future. So, I'd like to talk about a teacher that has struck a chord with me to this day. Her name is Kim Lee. I met her when I was in 7th grade. Actually, I remember the first time seeing Miss Lee was at the school gate, where she was welcoming everyone with a warm and affectionate smile on the first day back to school. Miss Kim taught a multitude of subjects, including English, maths, and art. But back then, she was my class teacher and my English teacher at the same time, so I saw her day in and day out. What makes Miss Lee a one-of-a-kind teacher were her down-to-earth teaching methods and unique lesson materials. Miss Lee's lessons were extremely interactive and vibrant. She was like a tech wizard who knew how to incorporate all the technologies available at the time and had us mesmerized. She also tailor-made eye-catching and fun-filled lesson materials all by herself according to our level. Her lessons were easy to follow, yet challenging enough to grab our attention and aim high bit by bit. I admire Miss Lee so much for all the wonderful qualities she possesses, including her diligence, selflessness, and creativity. Why do I say that? Well, first, she worked around the clock to make sure her students benefited as much as possible from each lesson. Second, she sacrificed her own time to reach out to students who needed her help. And third, she was adventurous with her out-of-the-box teaching techniques. These are just some of the many reasons why I look up to her. Miss Lee has greatly influenced me and inspired me to become a better person. I will always remember the woman that lit a fire into my dreams of becoming a teacher just like her. My admiration for her will never dissipate.
What would be the best gift for your teacher?
Interesting question. I'd say it really depends on who the teacher is and what they like. I've had teachers that would not accept presents unless they were under $50, which was a tough task if you can imagine. But if I had to choose a present for any of my teachers or professors, I would want to give them something that they would always use and hopefully treasure for the rest of their lives. Back when I was in 8th grade, we had a very kind homeroom teacher, and we bought him a mug while we were on a school trip. We thought it was a great way to show our gratitude to him. I think it really paid off because he took the whole class down to the tuck shop as a thank you gift a while later. I actually visited this particular teacher a few months back, and I noticed that he actually kept the mug, which was really cool of him.
What do you think of a teacher's workload?
I mean, a teacher's workload isn't something that you would normally think about on a daily basis. I think that's generally the case for most students. When I was in primary school, I didn't think much of it. I only thought the teachers were there to give us homework and tests and to punish us once in a while if we weren't behaving. When I got older, I realized that teachers really have a lot on their plate, and they have my utmost respect for it. I think we should all be more mindful of how we treat them, especially when they have to take care of kids every day and mark homework for 5 different classes all at once.
How has teaching changed in your country in the last couple decades?
So if I look at it from the perspective of a student studying in Hong Kong, I would say that the incorporation of technology is something that has definitely been a huge change in the education sector in particular. I noticed that there are a lot of policies that schools have implemented in order to encourage their students to use technology. During my secondary years, we had a program called STEM, which was dedicated to engineering and technology, and we mostly made robots and models, which was pretty fun.
Do you think technologies will replace teachers?
The way I see it, the idea of technologies replacing teachers is not a very likely occurrence at all. I've seen a lot of movies like The Terminator and I, Robot, and they've convinced me and a lot of other people that it's very unlikely that machines will be able to replace teachers in the near future. I don't think our current technology has developed enough to replace the empathy and sympathy that teachers can possess, and I don't believe that they would be able to do a good job at teaching kids. I imagine that they'd be spoon-feeding information to students instead of actually helping them learn. Perhaps technologies could replace teachers in the very distant future, but I don't see it happening anytime soon.
If you were to become a teacher one day, what subject would you teach?
I would say that I wouldn't be qualified enough to teach anything but English. You see, I'm not very good at math, I'm terrible at equations, and it would probably take me 1,000,000 years just to solve one. I would make a terrible art teacher too. Art is not my forte. I can only draw stick figures and do simple finger paintings at best. English would be a pretty fun subject for me to teach, and it was a subject that I felt most confident with in secondary school.